Hey guys, welcome back to the campaign. So begins the long trip back to Heligrad. You don't always travel, there's not always 6 weeks of travel, but since we're in a situation here where we're dealing with something in Heligrad back and forth, so it's constantly 6 weeks travel. If I was to go to a town or a village, it would be less than 6 weeks. But this is the situation we're in. We just rescued Agatha, the king's daughter here, this dwarf girl. And now we got to get her back to Heligrad. So we're going to roll the D6. And on a 6, we have an uneventful week. Let's see what we get. We get a 1. Imminent danger. White is always high. 33. Okay, so we're making our way along here through this rocky area. And we come upon some hungry wolves. And then there's the big mama wolf up here. Hungry wolves. While traversing through a grove, the warriors are threatened by hungry wolves. We must toss out 2d3 food items to pacify the pack, or the wild canines attack us. If we don't have enough food, or we choose not to feed them, the warriors eventually dispatch the attacking wolves. During the conflict, each warrior has 1 piece of equipment damage beyond repair. Must discard immediately. Yikes. So the first dice equates to 2, the second dice equates to 3, so we've got to toss out 5 food. Well, we only have 1 provision. We don't have any food that we can throw them, so we're gonna have to fight them off and lose an item each. Jeez. Javen's given up his potion of healing. Lunarius has given up his blessed gem. Rapture's given up his arrows of death card. All his other items are way more valuable. Thundarian's given up his spear. I don't like the imminent danger charts. Those suck. But yeah, we dispatched the wolves and they are taking off running, and we're gonna continue on. Week 5. Looking for an uneventful week with a 6. Nope. Get a 4. Structure or object. 13. So up ahead, you can see this chapel along the side of the road. And so we decide to stop and see what's going on here. Chapel. The warriors see a small chapel. If you wish, your warrior may spend some time in prayer with their gods. After your warrior spends 1d6 times 20 gold per battle level in offerings, you may roll on the following table. Okay, I think we're gonna pray. Thundarian spends 20 gold. Rapture, 20 gold. I like this if we keep rolling ones. All right, Lunarius is gonna spend 60 gold. Javen? Ooh, he's gonna spend 100 gold. Everybody paid their tithes, if you will, and let's see what we got. So we'll start with Thundarian. Gotta roll 1d6. He gets a 1. The gods aren't listening and ignore your warrior. All right, Rapture gets a 3. The gods aren't listening and ignore your warrior. Lunarius gets a 5. Lunarius has +1 wounds added to his starting wound score. This is a permanent addition. Nice. Javen, same thing, +1 to his wounds, permanent. So Thundarian is definitely grumbling about what happened here. However, he only dropped 20 in the bucket. And Javen kind of looks at him as like, well, what do you expect for 20? Week 4. Looking for a 6? Nope, we have an event. Get a 1. Imminent danger again. Great. White's always high, 31. One day, as we're traveling down the road, we come to there's trees here and there, but it looks like a big tree has been, it doesn't take a genius to see that it's been moved across the road, sort of blocking the path. Assassin. While traveling on the road, one of the warriors is struck by a poison arrow fired from the bushes. The assailant promptly disappears without trace. All right, let's see who gets shot with a poisoned arrow. Jeez. All right, this guy. Rapture has some pretty... I know Thunderian's got really bad luck, but Rapture has been getting the shit end of every deal. The poisoned warrior is able to travel, but must receive medical treatment from a healer as soon as possible. For every week the warriors continue their journey, the poisoned warrior must roll d6. If the results are 1 or 2, the warrior must deduct 1 wound from their starting wounds permanently. Wow. If their starting wounds reach a 0 before they reach a settlement, they are dead and removed from the game.
Don't I get a saving throw?
At least we're halfway through the journey. 3 weeks left. Let's do Rapture's roll first. We don't want a 1 or a 2. Nope, he's enduring the poison. A 6 would be nice for no event. No, we get an event. More imminent danger. Holy crap. All right, white's high. 52. Just reading the title of this makes me not want to read the paragraph. Treasure or your life. The warriors are surrounded by a deadly and desperate group of highway robbers. The warriors can either fight the robbers or give up the item of treasure. If the warriors decide to fight the highwaymen, each of them must roll d6 and add their initiative. The total of all their scores represents the number of highwaymen they are facing. Next, roll d6 for each warrior and add their battle level. The total of all those scores is how many highwaymen they defeat. If the highway robbers remain, the warriors are overtaken, bound, and left for the wolves. They are robbed of all their gold and 1 item of treasure, but thankfully they manage to free themselves before devoured by wild animals. Wow. Okay. So as we're making our way along, just having some regular conversation about the week and maybe complaining about some of our dinners, or Javen is talking smack to Thunderian about how he needs a bath again. He needs to go back to that bathhouse. Suddenly we're surrounded and these guys are not friendly. Let's see what happens. So it kind of sucks, but weighing this out, it could be a lot worse. If we choose to fight these guys and we lose with my crappy rolls, I'm losing a treasure each and gold and everything else. So we're just gonna give them 1 treasure. And that's gonna be Rapture's Boots of Swiftness. I know it's worth 500 gold, it sucks, but it moves me 1 more square. I mean, who really cares? So we hand over the boots, and one of the bandits walks up to Rapture and sort of slaps him on the shoulder where he had been shot with the arrow, and he says, "I hope you get better." 2 weeks left. Let's check Rapture's health. Doing okay. Event. We were looking for a 6. No, there's an event. Check again. Not another imminent danger. This is terrible. White's high. 66. Oh geez, what's this gonna be? So we found a nice little spot to camp out for the night. And as Thunderian's setting up his big tent back there, and storm clouds start rolling in. Storm. A storm hits the warriors' camp, blowing away the tents and equipment in a torrential rainstorm. Each warrior loses 1 item of treasure. Come on, that sucks. Next morning we wake up. Everything's blown around. There's satchels are missing. You got like sleeping bags up here in the rocks. Equipment's gone. And let's see what we lost. Rapture loses his sword, which is +1 to his hit rolls. That's pretty much the weakest value item that he has at this point. Thunderian, it lost his runestone of death. Lunarius loses the cloak of Anodon, which is +1 to his toughness. And Javen loses his hell mace. Everything went from really good to really bad really quickly. The final week before we reach Heligrad. Rapture's health. He loses 1 permanent hit point. He gets really sick on this last week's trip. Please be uneventful. Give me a 6. Nope. Do not roll another 1. I do not need another imminent danger. I can't survive it. 5. An event. White dice is high. 26. Guests. The warriors arrive in a small hamlet as a local festival is in full swing, and they're invited to stay as guests. Oh, that'd be fun. They are wined and fed to excess and have a most enjoyable evening. Waking up the next morning, they feel it's only fair to offer payment for the hospitality that the villagers have offered. Roll d6 for each warrior. The warrior with the lowest score has to pay the villagers 1d6 20 times 20 gold. That's fine. We will just use our counters here since we don't have different people playing where everybody can roll a dice. I'm not going to roll 4 different colored dice. Let's see who's got to pay. Poor Rapture. He's like sick. He's poisoned. He just lost a permanent hit point. And these guys actually expect him to pay. Maybe Rapture offers to pay because the group has been taking care of him while he's sick and they've been doing a good job. Let's look at it that way, yeah. They've been taking really good care of him the last couple weeks, and this last week he got really sick and they took care of him, so he offers to pay the 40 gold. As we finally make our way up into the mountains, up toward Heligrad, there's like this long path that leads up into the mountains. We can see that the gates are closed that lead to the path that leads up into Heligrad, and they're barricaded. There's like a bunch of stuff, crates and barrels, just sort of, the gates are closed, and then all these crates and barrels are stacked up in front of it. Dwarves, all fully armored and weaponed, sort of blocking the way. And as we get up to the gates, we don't know what's going on here really. We get up to the gates and they wave Javen forward. Thunderian tries to maybe talk to them, but they won't listen. And so they only want to talk to Javen. And Javen says, "What's going on here?" And the dwarves tell him that the city is closed. And Javen kind of argues with him, well, we've got the king's daughter. They tell us to just turn around and go the other direction. And that's puzzling because we have the king's daughter. And we go back and forth with these guys for maybe 20 minutes arguing about how we have the king's daughter and we need to pass until they actually draw weapons on us. So as we start to back up, Lunarius catches sight of the guild wizard up here that was advising the king, and he's sort of standing there and just watching the situation, keeping an eye on things. And as we leave, we start to think that we need to find another way into the city. And why is the guild wizard, who was so nice to Lunarius and who Lunarius gave the book to, acting like he doesn't know us, like he's maybe orchestrating this on some level? We saw him whispering in the king's ear, and so something is going on here. We don't know exactly what, but that is going to wrap up season 1 of the campaign, guys. I'm going to take a few weeks here and prepare for the next campaign. There's a lot of miniatures to be painted, a lot of tiles to be made, and a lot of story details to be put into place. I'm going to put out another video here pretty soon here on mistakes that I've made in this campaign, or rule flubs and things of that nature. So yeah, thank you to everybody who's watched the campaign. we're gonna leave this kind of as a cliffhanger, as we've got to get it. We've got his daughter. We've got the king's daughter. We've got to get into the city. What does the guild wizard have to do with all of this? And why doesn't the king want his daughter back? Catch you guys in the next video. See ya.